How you guys doing? I want to do a video here, and it may be controversial, and some of you may not like where I'm going with this, but it's fine. I went and earlier today, I went and visited my grandmother earlier today, and visited her for a while, and my grandmother is not herself anymore, as much anymore, and it bothered me because when you look at someone in your family that's in their 80s or early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, or whatnot, and then down the line over the years they started to develop a cognitive moment that can be called into question. Dianne Feinstein, who served in politics for 60 years, now she's 88 years old, and she's been senator for a long time, and she's starting to show some cognitive issues, because when you serve in politics for so long, and you served for many years, and you start to, without realizing that your mental health, developing signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or something of that sort. If look at Joe Biden, he's losing it. He's losing it in his age, There's things that he said over the last number of weeks, days, weeks, months, that have causing people to really question his position as president of the United States. Some of you that voted for him, because of him, you're paying for what you voted for. I'm not being an asshole about it. I'm just stating the fact here, folks. Even the media don't want to hear about it. Lord Trump talked about it on CNN, and they went after her for that, for telling the truth, being honest. My grandfather, before he passed away, he started to show I mean, even though he was sharp in some senses, but he would talk about the stuff he did as a kid when he was younger, but never about current. One of the stories I remember as a kid, he would tell me, he had a 32 Ford with a Oldsmobile Wildcat motor, with three deuces. And my great grandfather wanted to borrow his car because my great grandfather worked as a teacher, and he also worked in state government too, and in Nebraska. Now this story I remember because it's one of the funny stories my grandfather told me as a kid, even though I remember it till this day. My great grandmother was in the kitchen, and my great grandfather went into my grandfather's car, turned the ignition on, put it in reverse, hit the throttle. Now mind you, he hit the throttle and hit reverse, and those tires were spinning so fast with so much torque at the time, it started to kick rocks against the house, the window and shit, you know. At the time, you could throw on a 3 deuces, a turbocharger, or even a supercharger on a old Rocket 88 engine on a 32 deuce. And my great grandfather told my grandfather, says, you need to get rid of get rid of the 3 deuces, which is a 2-barrel carburetor. At the time, the 3 deuces together was the equivalent of a 4-barrel carburetor. Together, two 4 barrels at the time. But later on, my grandfather started to have strokes over the years. My grandfather passed away at the age of 89. He would have been 90. And if he was alive today, he would have been 91 and a half. But Dianne Feinstein is 88 years old. She's in her 80s. 88. And Biden's 82, 83. And you could say he's one of the oldest presidents actively. He's in his early 80s and shit. But Dianne Feinstein is 2 years shy of hitting 90. She was born in the same year my grandmother was. 1934. And my grandmother will be 90 in 2024. My grandmother is the same age as Dianne Feinstein, both 88 years old and shit. But the biggest fear is that, you know, if you look at Mitch McConnell, he's up there in age. Chuck Schumer, up there in age. If you look at Pelosi, she's up there in age. And you kind of wonder of how long do they have left? Because, I mean, look at Maxine Waters. She's up there in age. And I think that when you reach a certain time where your mind is about to go, start going, it's time to retire. You know, but it does get scary when you reach that age where your memory starts to go and stuff. I mean, like, dude, I'm not here being mean to anybody. I'm not here to be mean to Biden or Dianne Feinstein. I'm just here stating that, you know, you have oligarchs that are up there in age in Congress and in the Senate that definitely need to retire. I will not lie. I will not, you know, because sometimes when we reach that age, man, your mind wanders, man. You know, it does. It really wanders, you know. The reason I did this video, I've done this video again. I went and visited my grandmother, who I haven't seen in months, in a long, long time. I miss my grandmother. She's the one that got me into jicama, which is a Indian potato, and pretty good, by the way. You could go to your local grocery store and get a whole one, or you could go to Smart Final and get ones that are cut in cubes or slices and shit. But it's pretty good, you know. It's good on a salad too. Try it out; it's pretty good though. I don't want the woke mafia to come after me because I'm talking about Biden cognitive as well. Because I want them to understand, you know, it's a scary thing to even talk about, because I know down the line I will suffer from that myself. You know, when I reach that age. Do I want to? I hope not. I hope I'm 88 years old and have a sharp mind, you know. But, you know, there's going to be people that would come on here and want to see this channel removed because I'm talking about this shit, you know. But before you put your before you open mouth and insert foot, how about shut mouth, start thinking? Because this could be your grandparents, you know, and your great grandparents, your mom and dad, you know. That, I mean, again, it is terrifying, and I do not wish this on anybody. You know, I don't. You know, to do that, it's freaking cruel, man. Very, very cruel. You know, my dad's parents were up there in age. Both my grandparents on my dad's side of the family, they were born before World War I. Yeah. If they were alive today, my grandfather would be 107. 107. My grandmother would be about 103 or 104. But again, I do not wish this on anybody. And if anybody does, then you're a cruel motherfucker, dude. You're a cruel son of a bitch. Because it's nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to look. It is scary as hell, man. It is scary as fuck, dude. You know, just knowing that down the line you'll be in that age here here, years later, years to go, and it is fucking frightening, dude. You know, it is terrifying, big time. Don't not wish that on anybody, man. I swear, I don't. Because that will be a cruel, man. Very, very cruel. But somebody from her staff, someone that also used to work for her staff, would talk to her on one thing, then turn around, she'll talk about another thing that happened prior. You know. But I don't know. I mean, man. Again, do not wish this on anybody at all, man. I tell you, don't. Then you be the one who's a much bigger asshole than what you are now. That's why I'm doing this video. And if you ever had anybody in your family that's suffering from cognitive issues or showing signs of dementia and or Alzheimer's, put it in the comments section, because this could be a real discussion, which I don't mind having. You know, I lost my grandfather. And he was the only one I had after my father's folks passed away. You know, I look up to my grandfather. You know, hearing his stories. You know, I mean, hearing the stories. Someone say, "Oh man, why is Grandpa telling that crap again?" It's like old ancient history. Maybe if you actually have the patience and compassion and actually listen, because maybe you'll learn something about your family that you may not know. Because I enjoyed hearing those stories. You know, my grandfather was a teacher at one time. He worked as an auction at an auction, doing one of those where holds bike and shit. He did that, and he would work on the farm as a kid in Nebraska, dude. And for 40 years, my grandfather worked in the Department of Agriculture for the state of Nebraska, Utah, and California. And it's just when you realize all the stuff that our grandparents have done, you know, maybe you'll understand your family tree. Maybe you understand your family history better than what you think you know. And I tell you what, hearing those stories are worth the time. Very, very worth the time. I cried because, you know, I lost somebody who I looked up to very much, because my grandfather was a one time I asked my grandfather about if my grandfather ever was in the Freemasons. He said no, he was in the Oddfellows. And my grandfather was never in it, but my great grandfather was an Oddfellow. He was in the Oddfellows, and my grandfather knew the words of the I say the initiation words, you know, because the Oddfellows were kind of like the Freemasons to a degree. And the one thing I love about Family Tree is you learn about the people you're related and not realize you're related to them. Some can be famous, some can be infamous, and whatnot. Now, what's pretty cool about Family Tree? The more you realize when you're doing genealogy, you will have some surprises here. You know, when I realized that I was related to Winston Churchill, the former prime minister, two words came up. Bullshit. Until I looked even further in my family, in genealogy, and and when I realized his father was a royal Freemason and also an ancestor. Now, here's the name: Randolph Spencer Churchill. Now, the word Spencer. Who also had that name? Randolph Spencer Churchill. Now, in the middle of his name, Spencer. Who also had that name before she died? And it took me a long time. Now, I mean a real long time. Now, y'all know what Princess Di's maiden name is. Spencer. Who's her ancestor? Winston Churchill and Randolph Spencer Churchill, who was a royal Freemason. Weird, huh? So, I kind of put two and two together, but it took me a long time. Look, I'm a commoner son of a bitch, okay? Now, when you look at the word Spencer and you look at Di's boys, there's a lot of people who are related to Winston Churchill. And when I asked my grandmother, are related to him through him being married to somebody, or are related to him by blood? By blood. And so it took me a while to actually let it all sink in, you know. And the reason I don't say this much, because people are like, you're full of shit, man. Go fuck yourself. It took me to realize a long time to let it all sink in that I'm related to the crown princes Windsor Castle. And I wanted to drink the biggest pitcher of beer. I mean, the biggest pitcher of beer just to forget this shit, you know. Didn't want to believe it. But you know, didn't want to believe it. Still don't. I don't talk about it. Never like talking about it, but family trees are weird, man. Genealogy is weird. Because once you do that genealogy shit, you're not going to know until you continue to get these big surprises that you're not even prepared for, you know, like holy fucking shit. So that's out of the way. But again, you know, it is scary. You know, when you reach that age, all of a sudden your mind start going, and it's just something that you don't want to do, man. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to deal with it. You know, the whole cognitive shit, man. It is one of the scariest shit ever, man. And that, I won't lie. You know, that, again, you don't want, but it happens. You know? But being 88 and a senator, and I do agree that she needs to resign or retire, because 2 years of hitting 90, holy shit. Her term ends in 2024. So if anybody in San Francisco wants to take her on for her seat, start campaigning. Start throwing in your hats, folks. Throw in your hats. Because we need to unseat this elderly woman, because she is up there in age and she needs to fucking retire. Any old fart that's still in power right now, we need some young blood. Not the old farts. We need some young blood to take over those positions. I'm talking about Pelosi, McConnell, Waters, Schumer, Feinstein. I am fucking serious. I am serious than a heart attack, guys, man. We need somebody who's willing to go up against these old farts and say, look, your time's up. Time for you and your old wrinkled ass to retire. We don't want you to suffer like fucking Biden, because that fucker his brain is already scrambled as it is, man. Holy crap. I'll tell you what, we also need somebody that's not even up there in age to run. We need somebody that's around my age and shit to run, because we need a Gen Xer in the White House. We need a Gen Xer who doesn't give a shit to run for office. Maybe I should. I don't give a shit. You know? Nah. I couldn't run for office. You wanna know why? I'll tell you why. 1, I'm an asshole. 2, I'm a stubborn motherfucker. 3, I give 0 fucks on any woke culture feeling motherfucker. And plus, I want to start cleaning shit up. I want to declassify everything. Like, who really killed Marilyn Monroe? Who really killed JFK? I want to pardon Sirhan Sirhan. I want to tear apart the CIA into a million tiny pieces. I want to get rid of qualified immunity. That'll be my thing. I want to get rid of qualified immunity. So if an officer fucks up, he can sue his fucking fat ass. You know, where he or she has to pay for their crimes. I'm going to enact JFK's executive order and bring on the silver certificate. I'm going to reinstate Glass-Steagall and put us back on the gold standard. I'm going to speak softly and carry a big fucking stick. And my goal will be, we're gonna hunt down Antifa. There's gonna be a bounty on their fucking asses. And we're gonna fuck their shit up. Oh yeah, we're gonna fuck their shit up. That's what I would do if I was running. Those are the plans in mind. We're gonna do some damage. Of course, if I get close to do my job, I know one thing will happen. I will get assassinated. Because the elite don't want anybody fucking up their shit. I do want to fuck up their shit. I'm going to cause so much political damage. I'm going to make the squad quit. I'm going to make these old fuckers resign and quit. I'm going to make Maxine Waters give the hair back to James Brown. And make her apologize to the James family for stealing his hair. And I'm going to really do some damage by auditing the Fed. Someone's telling me, Mr. President, you can't do that. Fuck you, I want to do it. I want to audit the CIA. I'm going to audit the FBI. I'm going to audit the NSA. I'm going to pardon Edward Snowden. I'm going to pardon Chelsea Manning. I'm going to pardon Julian Assange. And I'm going to pardon Kim.com if I was president. That's what I would fucking do. And also what I would do is that I would open an investigation on the death of Emmett Till. Investigate the death of Medgar Evers. Because the family needs justice. They need justice. I wouldn't care how old the woman is, she will be tried. Because that bitch lied to cause the death of a young 14-year-old boy who was murdered by her dumbass husband and his dumbass brother. That's what I would do if I was president. And I would have the IRS investigate the Black Lives Matter global network and seize their assets and freeze it. I'll go after the 3 co-founders and charge them with fraud. That's what I would do. Charge those trouser stains with fraud. I would have made those trouser stains and make them serve a sentence like Bernie Madoff, 125 years. Make sure that, hey, you steal from uncles, you steal, you commit fraud, we're going to make you pay your taxes. Since you ain't got the 507c3, you ain't got all this money, we're going to make you pay the taxes on it. Going to make you, oh hell yeah I would. Hell yeah I would. Because those 3 trifling stained brides are going to be paying the sentence for fraud. But of course, again, if I go for that, and I keep my promise to do so, they would probably pull a Donald Trump on my ass and want to impeach me right away. But if they want to impeach me, turnabout's fair play. I'll investigate. You want to investigate my ass? I'll investigate your dumb ass. Because turnabout's fair play, bitch. Turnabout is fair fucking play. You want to investigate? I want to investigate too. Because somebody's going to get impeached. Somebody's going to really not going to like what I want to do. That's going to be very fucking funny. Really very funny. Really, really funny. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. I know that some of you that are watching this probably going to call me racist. Don't give a shit. Because it's my opinion, I'm sticking to it. And if you don't like it, kiss my ass. Because that's what I would do if I was president. I would go after Hillary Clinton, big time. I don't give a crap who's protecting her. They'll go against it too. See, I want to make being a president fucking fun. I'm going to make it exciting. I'm going to make it very exciting. And I'm going to make some woke assholes very scared. I'm going to enjoy laugh my ass off while I do it. Alright, folks. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and hope you enjoyed it. And I want to make this also a talking point here too. So go ahead and put it in the comments section. And if you're new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification, and enjoy living healthy, happy, wise. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed.